I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you. And your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. Okay? You and SP are together even if they're married to somebody else. Okay? In this video, I'm going to give you, first of all, some techniques on how to deal with when you see that your SP that you want, that you desire, that you love, is in a relationship with somebody else. And you see that in your 3D and you're like, oh, you feel like all hope is lost, right? Well, I'm going to give you some techniques, even though saying that sometimes can sound so cringe, but I'm going to give you some ways to manage that and what I would do in that case and what I have done. And I'm going to give you some success stories that happened to me pertaining to third parties and what you can learn from that. Okay. But first, like I always say, you got to understand that you are God. Okay. Everything that you see here on earth is a reflection of a perception. Okay. The whole reality that you are in right now, where your SP is with the third person, is because of your fault. Okay? Yeah, I said that. It's because of your fault. But the same way that it is your fault for them being with the third party is the same way that it can be your fault for when they knock on your door and tell you, you know what, I made a mistake, and you guys fuck each other's brains out. Okay? It's the same way. So how do you get there? Well, what I would do in this case, you could either do an imaginal act, 5 seconds, first person perspective, and just go fucking ham on your subconscious and see you and your SP in the end. Not on your first date, not you getting a text message. You guys are on the fucking rocking chair talking about how you can't believe you now have great grandkids. You see the fucking wrinkles all over her face. You see your prune juice to the right on your nightstand. But yeah, you don't give a fuck because you are in love. I mean, imagine, if you don't want to go that far into the fucking future, imagine you two are on your third honeymoon. And again, first person perspective, because if you watch it in third person, your subconscious has the possibility of getting confused and you seeing your SP with somebody else. So it's always better to do it in first person. But do a 5-second imaginal act of both of you guys holding hands on your honeymoon. Excuse me, not your honeymoon, on some sort of nice beach date, and you guys are saluting, and then she says, so what are you gonna get me for our anniversary? And then you're like, oh shit, I forgot it was our anniversary. And then boom, right? Because if you add a little bit more realism right there, because you know you always forget her, you're forgetful, and sometimes you don't even fucking remember your own birthday, right? The more realistic you make it, the better, right? But when you go in your imagination and you make it a very quick imaginal act, you are training yourself to make this fucking manifestation shit easy. Okay? But besides making it easy, you can always go back to that imaginal act, and when you come out of it, you don't tell yourself, I can't wait for this to happen. You tell yourself it already fucking happened. Whenever you go into your imaginal act and you see you and your SP on the rocking chair, even though in the 3D they're with their third person and they are posting every single time on their story of how in love they are with this other guy or this other girl, when you go in your imaginal act and you come out from the rocking chair or come out from your anniversary where she asks you what you're going to get her for a gift, that just fucking happened. And therefore, when you come out of that imaginal act, you have the audacity, You have the fucking goal to, whenever she texts you and say she doesn't ever want to see you again, you can say, yeah, whatever, I'll see you on the rocking chair, bitch. Yeah, okay. That's not what you were saying the other day when you were asking what the fuck I'm gonna get you for our anniversary. Matter of fact, you don't have to say anything. You just tell yourself, okay? I also like to use the okay bet technique, where they're telling you something like, I fucking hate your guts, I'm gonna put a restraining order, I never loved you, and then you're just like, okay, bet, yeah. You can even say that to them, all right, bet, right? Or just fucking unhinged, you can just flat out even tell them to their face, you know what, whatever you say, I know you're fucking in love with me, right? But the point is, when you come out from that imaginal act, you have the ability to, no matter how bad the circumstances are, no matter if they are on their 5th anniversary with their new spouse, you already have the relationship right then and there, okay? Also, for affirmations, right? And I'm putting the techniques in the beginning of the video because I know some of you guys have said that it's, you know, I go on tangents, and I do, because a lot of times I like to cram everything in this. I like to make a whole fucking Avengers Infinity War where we cannot just have Spider-Man, we cannot just have Incredible Hulk, we have to bring the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy in, and Thanos, and there has to be like a fucking Galactus. We have to bring everybody in the video, right? But I'm gonna try to keep you guys fucking, I'm not gonna try to waste your time too much, okay? But understand that the imaginal acts, whenever you do them, don't look at them as this is what is gonna happen in the future. Look at it as it already fucking happened. And if you're like, wait, it only happened last Tuesday when I did the imaginal act, okay, go in the bathroom, take a shit, and do it again, okay? Do another scene. This time, wash dishes with your SP, okay? Give her a little bump on the ass, or actually that's kind of gay. Let her give you a little bump on the ass, and then you slap that shit and make sure she has yoga pants, because the recoil is more sexier, okay? But for affirmations, whenever you are noticing something in the 3D, like constant story posts where they are showing the whole entire globe that they are in love with somebody else but you, first of all, when you really care about somebody, the real reason why it hurts you that they are with somebody else is not because they're happy, but because it is almost like a big ass fucking sign that they're holding, where they're telling you, you're not good enough, I hate you, you suck, look at what you don't have, you are not worthy, motherfucker. It's literally like they're putting it in your face, even though you're the one opening their story, right? Well, that is in those moments when you resonate with that state, because everything is really a state that you go into, right? Where, you know, another way to look at states is like moods, right? When you notice that your mood shifts whenever you notice something in the 3D, those are the specific moments where you have to catch it, right? So I've talked a lot about self-pedestalization affirmations, but I haven't really talked so much about the best time to use it and how to use them, right? Because a lot of people say, you know, when you wake up or when you're about to go to sleep. But what I would do is this, okay? I would take a couple of days off of manifesting, visualizing, affirming. And what I would do is I would try to see and notice the moments in the day or throughout the weeks where you miss SP the most, or when you desire SP the most and you feel the feeling of lack, right? And see how you respond. Don't try to affirm, don't try to work on self-concept. See the thoughts and the emotions that you inhibit in those moments. And when you're able to do this for a couple of days, you'll realize that there's patterns, right? Just like when you're in a boxing ring and you notice the moments where you leave yourself open, or you have the tendency to keep yourself more closer to the ropes, and therefore that is where they're killing you, right? Well, see where it is that the 3D is killing you. And if you have to, write it down, even though I don't know why it just is cringy whenever somebody says write stuff down. Like, even though that is helpful, who the fuck buys college ruled notebooks anymore, right? I don't think I have seen a fucking sheet of notebook paper, you know, in God knows how long, right? But it will help if you write it down. But if you can remember, figure out the moments in your day or what circumstances trigger you. Basically, find your triggers, right? And then create a battle plan. And your battle plan is going to be your self-pedestalization affirmations, okay? Because again, you can be saying the affirmations when you feel like doing them, right? Which typically we feel like doing them when we had a much more better day. Maybe we saw our favorite movie and we knew how to get ourselves in the groove. Kind of like when it's that person who only goes to the gym when they feel like it, right? Because honestly, if you're so used to being negative about yourself, self-pedestalization affirmations do feel like work oftentimes because we are so accustomed to talking shit about ourselves, right? But when you create a battle plan and you tell yourself that you're going to say this affirmation whenever you open their story and you see that they have another date at fucking Olive Garden with their SP or with their third person, I'm sorry. Or whenever you notice that your phone is fucking more drier than the Sahara Desert and nobody texted you and you feel the feeling of lack, that's when you want to say your self-pedestalization affirmations, okay? So for example, if you're going on social media and you're opening the status, have the most shocking, groundbreaking, self-pedestalized affirmation that you can tell yourself that has to do with the feeling that you feel when you feel the lack thereof of your SP. So if you feel like shit whenever you see them with another person, you got to tell yourself, they have a life-size poster of me that they pray and bow down to every single night. They cannot stop telling all their friends about how big my dick is. Thanks to my SP, everybody knows that I am amazing in bed, and now even her friends are fucking jealous, and they are blowing up my phone and hoping that she doesn't find out. Say the most craziest things. You shift from telling yourself how ugly you are and how lonely you are to you created this fucking story that you are the desire of all the women in the fucking neighborhood, right? It is a complete mind shift, okay? And the reason why I like to go crazy about this is because we have been so fucking fucked up with the things that we tell ourselves. And sometimes we jump to conclusions when our SP actually doesn't have anybody and maybe they're with their fucking cousin, but automatically we assume, oh wow, now all hope is lost. They're with somebody else. But even if they are married, okay, how many times the divorce rate is 50%, but that doesn't include the people who are cheating on their spouses, okay? So just remember that, all right? Anything is possible. The only reason why people don't get their SP after their SP was married is because they saw themselves as the majority of people who don't get their SP after they get married, okay? But yeah, create some fucking self-pedestalized narcissistic affirmations for whenever you open their story, or whenever you feel lonely and it's Saturday and everybody's talking about how they're going out on dates but you are lonely at the house. Tell yourself that all the girls are blowing up your phone or all the guys are blowing up your phone, so much so that T-Mobile is pissed because of all the traffic going on in your fucking line and it's fucking up their 5G data towers. Tell yourself that everybody is so fucking annoyed because you constantly are posting pictures of you with a different woman or a different guy every single day. Tell yourself that it's about time that you give yourself a break because your SP cannot stop wanting to see you. She even wants to see you even for 2 hours just to get a quick bite at Denny's. Tell yourself that everybody is jealous because of the relationship that you and SP are in. So much so that People Magazine is asking for interviews and wanting to know how you guys do it, okay? You don't have to say all those fucking affirmations, but pick something of that caliber whenever it is a moment in your day or in the 3D circumstances that you know you have the tendency to get triggered. Okay? So that's what I would do to manifest an SP. Now, for a quick success story, there was a girl who, she was really sexy. Okay, we worked together for some time and she had a boyfriend, right? Well, I remember we used to mess around quite a lot. Okay, and there was one time where it got to the point where she decided that she was going to be a good girl and stop fucking around and even find Jesus, right? She told me she was going to church and she was trying to be a better person, when in reality it was just that her boyfriend was threatening that he was going to leave her and kick her out of the house, right? So, you know, all of a sudden hypergamy kicked in and she started praising the Lord. So, long story short, she started basically not even friend zoning me. She just basically started ignoring me, because during the time that this was occurring, we were still working together. And whenever we were working together, even though we would do things outside of work, and I have to be careful because I don't want to accidentally say her name, because I do not want to edit this shit. If I say her name, I'm sorry, you're getting exposed, bitch. But we're gonna call her fucking Tamisha, okay? And no, she wasn't black, but you can say that because, you know, then you'll never know who she is. But Tamisha was fucking working with me during this time, and whenever we would work together, we could not keep our hands off of each other. I mean, I'm talking like we would be next to the fucking food line and all her fucking boobs would just be rubbing all over my elbow, you know? And whenever she would be passing by me, I mean, that was, it was time to scoop the cake, bro. I mean, call HR, right? And I gotta be careful because I keep saying that in my fucking videos, and I actually had to talk to HR the other day. It was crazy. But anyways, long story short, we went like a whole month where, you know, because she wanted to start acting like a good girlfriend, she started basically ignoring me all at work, like for a whole fucking month. And then one day, I had a friend of mine who worked with us before, but then left. He ended up coming back around the time that she was being distant with me, right? Well, one day I was telling him, you know, basically catching up with him about everything. And when he first left, me and this girl were not a thing. But once he came back, I had all these fucking stories to tell him about all the, infinity stones that I had in my gauntlet. That when I told him about her, he was like fucking like shocked. He was like, I cannot believe you, Neo. You really did this. He was African, so he talked like that, And he had like the most just thickest fucking Sudanian accent. And he was like, Neo, I cannot believe you. You're so cooked. You know what I mean? And I remember the day specifically, bro. It was a Wednesday, and me and him were just chopping it up about all the girls I was banging, right? And I came out of that conversation because he was just gassing me up. He was like, I cannot believe you, Neo. You are him. You know what I'm saying? Just gassing me up. And this guy watches too much TikTok, obviously, right? But I came out of there feeling a lot better about myself because I was like, what the fuck? I mean, the girl who I was really interested in was ignoring me, but yet I come out of this conversation feeling like the man. That same fucking day, when we were working on shift, when no one was looking, she was helping me make a salad, right? Because we work in the food industry. And when no one was looking, she fucking gets so fucking close to me, making it obvious that she was trying to get my attention. And she scoots her fucking boobs all over my elbow, just like she used to fucking do in the past. And I make eye contact with her, and then she just fucking giggles. All right? And then after that, we started doing the same touchy, feely thing. And, you know, one thing led to another. And I think you guys know where this is leading, right? But the point is I went a whole month where she was ignoring me. All because she wanted to, you know, because she was afraid that her boyfriend was going to break up with her. And she felt like she had to, you know, keep things serious, right? But isn't it interesting that the one day that I start going from feeling like shit and feeling like, oh, you know, fuck, I just lost one of my favorite hoes, to coming out of a conversation where my friend was gassing me up because of all the girls that I was banging. And just from a fucking conversation, I connect with the state. I enter into the state of him who has all the fucking chicks in the neighborhood. And just from that, she started showing, basically started acting the same exact way that she was acting before she was distant and before her boyfriend threatened to kick her out, right? So, and then there's another fucking girl who, let me see if I can say this in 2 fucking minutes, because I'm always going on a fucking tangent here. There was a girl who me and her had a little bit of history as well, and she got in a relationship, right? And at this time I still had feelings for her, but you know, after a while the feelings faded, so I ended up not wanting to pursue anything with her. But at this time I still had feelings for her, and it was kind of weird seeing her with a guy, right? Because, you know, well, we're not going to get into that, but long story short, there was a little part of me that was like a little disappointed, because before she got into this relationship, me and her were still kind of in the zone, right? Where we were flirting and things were, you know, at times very touchy, right? So when she got in this relationship, I remember that my friend was telling me, you know, Neil, you're so cooked. You'll never get her now. And I would always tell him, like, bro, just watch, bro. This guy's gonna fuck up. Well, within their first fucking week, okay, after he did the whole will you be my girlfriend thing on her wall with fucking balloons, right? Some Nickelodeon Disney Channel bullshit. Within the first week, she started confessing to me of how needy this guy was, without me fucking asking, and even asking for my advice on how to handle it, right? And no, I didn't tell her you should break up with him. No, I didn't say this and that. I actually told her that you should give him a chance. Well, she took my advice, and a week later she told me that she broke up with him, right? Because he was getting way too jealous of, you know, some of her guy friends, right? Which later on, I kind of realized that she's not really good relationship material. Either way, she's good fuck buddy material. But, you know, now I'm just kind of indifferent to it, because right now especially, you know, I already have my SP. And I'm on top of the world. But the point is all I did was enter the state. With the first SP, I entered the state of having all the women to desire me, just by going in the past and remembering all the stories that I have of all the women that I was banging, right? And just by revisiting the past, because remember, there's only now. So even when you go in the past, even when you remember traumatic events, you are re-experiencing that, and therefore you will keep seeing those traumatic events happen until you stop going in the past and forgive, right? Well, it's the same way with the good stuff. With you remembering all the pussy that you used to get back in the day. If you keep remembering it, guess what? You're going to start going into that state, right? And then with the second one, with her, it wasn't so much an affirmation or an imaginal act. It was just me already knowing. It was a self-concept. I had the self-concept of no matter who she's with, she's always going to break up with him because she cannot stop thinking about me. And even after she got out of that relationship, the touching never stopped. Even when she was in that relationship, when I found out that she had a boyfriend, I was like, wait, what the fuck? And why the hell was she touching my ass just the other day? You know, why the hell was she was another one who could not stop fucking getting close with her boobs whenever she had to get something while we were at work together, right? I don't know what it is, but my elbow is a fucking nipple magnet. But either ways, guys, The second one was self-concept. The first one was entering the state, almost like an imaginal act, because I was going in the past and remembering all the ass, all the pussy, all the fucking, vagina hairs that I was involved with, right? Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between the past, the future, the present. And when you have a self-concept through the roof, even if your SP is married, you can still get them back. So just understand that, guys. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. I really need to start getting to the fucking point in these videos, but I love making these videos, okay? If you guys have any questions, you can email me at neothegod@gmail.com. I need to fucking okay, just look up my email on my YouTube channel page, and you can do a consultation with me right there. Right now I'm doing free consultations up until maybe February, and then I'm gonna start charging you assholes, because the best manifestation coach, he deserves his rewards. So I'm the king, I'm the best, and your SP gets fucking wet every single time they think of you. I am Neolartos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say, and I know you're gonna be okay.